Hi, how you doing? Thank you for watching the video. This one today, I thought I'd just make a quick one about patterns. I've been answering a few questions about abuse, so thank you very much for keeping the emails coming and the contact. Very interesting for people who are in abusive relationships, they're perhaps not sure whether they are in abusive relationships, because it's very much a grey scale. Obviously, we all have tendencies to get cross, get angry, get. I think the normal balance is that you swing between the two. You have a happy medium, but we all go up and down with our moods and where we are. Hopefully that we get reflective, that if we've been negative or angry, cross, abusive in any way, that we get reflective on that and apologise and redress the balance. When there's a pattern of continuing abuse, it's very useful to see that pattern. I get lots of emails from people from all over the world saying thank you to me for just posting up this information, that so they can recognise abuse and understand what it is, because it's when there's a cycle of it and it's continuing that's when it's like, okay, so this isn't just me, there's something more going on here and it isn't my fault. So my focus is very much for the victims of recognising abuse. The pattern for victims is the same as the pattern is for abusers is the same. Just to qualify that, the same as in victims have a pattern and abusers have a pattern. So for victims, it's very interesting to notice the cycle, and every abuser's pattern is different. Once you see it, you can't not see it, so it's very useful to see it, if you see my point. What I'd like you to do, if you think you're in that situation, or even if you have been in the past, reflect back on it. Kind of what cycle or pattern did your abuser have? I've dealt with one person this week who had an abuser who could cycle between days. Would be fine one minute and then angry the next, then fine. Some do it in an hourly cycle. They can change just like that. Others, it's like 4 times a year. Could be absolutely plain and then bang, hitting. But seeing that it's a pattern and that it happens 4 times a year might help you deal with it, to adjust to it, to cope with it. If you're in a situation where you're choosing to stay within that environment, that it helps you cope. It's a coping strategy, that you know what it is, why perhaps it's happening, and what you can do to protect yourself and those around you from it. So yeah, perhaps start noticing if it's useful to you. I'm never one for particularly diaries, but it's a very strong and powerful thing to be able to write down in a diary in whatever way, to have a notebook somewhere where you just make a little note. It's like, okay, this happened then, that was the cause, and this is how it worked. And then it happens again, and then you just note that down. Very quickly you've got a pattern emerging. Once you see the pattern, then you can apply it to the knowledge of what abuse is and how it works and why it stays and replicates and duplicates, and what you're doing that keeps you there and attracted to the abusive pattern, because you will be used to that probably from your childhood experience. So yes, I guess that feels a bit like a tip of the day in a way, to diarise, to note down, to make a note, just to notice the patterns, because once you see the patterns you can't not see it, and it kind of helps make sense of what's going on. It's not just something you've done and triggered off a reaction. Actually there's something bigger at play there. So I hope that's useful. Let me know how any of you get on, or your past experiences. I'm very happy to share them. I've got lots of stories to share as well, so I'll get busy with them as well. But thank you very much for continuing to contact me. I'm very encouraged, and gosh, let's see where this could go. I'd be very interested to hear from any of you who've connected with charities before, have set up charities, because I think there's certainly, for me, confirmation that we could do more to spread the word. So I'd be very interested to hear from any of you on that. Many thanks, and wish you well. Bye bye.